All right, let's go to one now that is not from a Democrat. Okay, Maggie Hassan, Democrat. She supports habeas corpus. Kristi Noem didn't, but that's a Democrat against a Republican. Let's step back for a second. Let's hear from Thomas Massie, not the squad, not a disaffected Republican like Liz Cheney. This is a full-blown libertarian, anti-spending, anti-tax Republican, Thomas Massie, congressman, going nuclear on Trump's new tax plan. Why? Because it blows up the deficit. This is something self-described deficit hawks are against. Now, I don't agree with the principles that Thomas Massie believes in. But like Rand Paul over in the Senate, there are some Republicans whose principles are actually consistently held and applied to what's going on. I don't really agree with it with Thomas Massie. I think his libertarian anti-spending thing is completely whacked and doesn't make any sense economically, but he is identifying the Trump tax plan will dramatically increase the deficit. Therefore, it's not something that he would be in favor of. Let's take a listen to what he had to say. The audio is not great, but I think we'll do okay.
Are you worried about the blowback from Trump allies, from the MAGA base for voting no?
No, actually, I've got a lot of people in the MAGA base who realize that we could have done this differently. We could extend the tax cuts and paid for them, but instead we're not. I mean, over here, the people in favor of this bill say that under the policies of this bill, we're going to add $20 trillion to debt over the next 10 years, which is $3.5 to $5 trillion more than would have been added otherwise.
They're saying it's deficit neutral.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's a joke.
All right, so there is Thomas Massie. This is why Trump said yesterday Thomas Massie needs to be voted out of office. This is what it's really about. Fiscal responsibility. Massie says he cares about fiscal responsibility. So does Trump. But the bill doesn't seem to care about fiscal responsibility as defined by them. Trump says he cares about the deficit, and Massie says he cares about the deficit, except Trump is pushing a bill that will dramatically increase the deficit. And so what this is really about is loyalty, not fiscal responsibility. If you deviate even one iota from the Trump line, you dare to point out this is a budgetary dumpster fire. I'm so sorry, but it's a budgetary dumpster fire. You're a traitor. You're done. You deserve to be voted out. And this is what happens in authoritarian movements. Dissent is punished, even respectful marginal dissent. The facts don't matter. Loyalty is the only thing that does. Thomas Massie is not a moderate. He's not some center-right moderate. He has spent years railing against government spending, even government spending that is stimulative because it does valuable things. Trump is now proposing massive tax cuts for the rich and no real plan to pay for it. So Massie goes, oh, that increases the deficit. I don't like that. And so Trump says, we've got to vote this guy out. So the next time that you hear Trump talk about how he's going to balance the budget or pay off the debt or whatever, his own party's deficit hawks, who I disagree with philosophically, are saying Trump's plan is a complete and total fantasy. And Trump's response is, shut up and fall in line. That's what they want you to do. And if you don't do it, you become persona non grata. Good for Massie, I guess, although it's his own political career that he's imperiling here. Did you know that countless commercial databases and people search sites are storing your personal information? Anyone, from an employer to a former partner, can use these platforms to get details about your online presence, your home address, phone number, email, license plate, family members, financial information, even political views. Europe has laws that offer some protection, but in the US, the data is widely accessible. Even the FBI will buy this information from companies to spy on people without a search warrant. Our sponsor, Incogni, provides a solution. It takes just seconds to sign up, and Incogni will send removal requests to all of the major data brokers, legally compelling them to get rid of your data. Incogni keeps you informed throughout the process. You'll get real-time updates, who has complied, which ones are still pending. They'll handle follow-ups, they'll handle appeals on your behalf, and this will save you hundreds of hours. Very few people have the time or resources to do this on their own. This service can also reduce the number of spam calls and emails you get, since many solicitors and scammers get your information from these very same sources. Go to incogni.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman for 60% off. The link is below.